What is good, internet people? As you can see here, I got some Vosteeds laid out. I think in this video, I'm gonna touch on each knife while I give a brief description and a brief overview of materials. I'm going to select 3 Vosteeds to keep if I had to get rid of my Vosteeds. I think it would just be interesting to see on the spot which 3 end up staying with me and which 3 get let go of. So to start us off, we're going to clear out the board a little bit and get rid of the raccoon cub. It is a very small knife. You can compare it to the Martin 330 to the original Vosteed raccoon. This is just a much smaller knife. The smallest folding knife I own, I believe, other than maybe like a Swiss Army or something. In that same sense, we'll go ahead and get rid of the mini nightshade. I believe that was this one, the nightshade, or the shilling cutter, one of the two, the mini version. Here's the shilling cutter, kind of compared, a little bit smaller for sure, and a nightshade for good measure, also quite a bit smaller. I love the blade shape. I do carry this quite a bit when I'm just, going to work out or just going to the mailbox or whatever. It's a good letter opener, good knife. Just crossbar lock, a little small. Makes it a little harder even to engage the crossbar lock, I find. Now to let go of something a little bit bigger, because that's what's left. We're going to go ahead and get rid of the Corgi V. The V is for the Vanker lock, so you got a pivot lock on this one. You got the black back roll, the front roll on the black blade, N690. I do like this knife. Something about it, it's a little bit smooth, and then when it is opened and you're using it, it's easy to kind of slide up a little bit, I find. You do got some jimping there, which is supposed to keep you locked in, but I do find it is a little smooth. But for a gentleman carry knife, it is one of my favorites. Another one we are going to let go of. We're going to go ahead and do the croc. I love the croc. I use the croc a lot, carry it a lot, but there is a different knife on here that I just gravitate to, and they have similar blade shapes, same locking mechanism. So if I'm going to keep one, it's probably going to be the more premium, which this one is 14C on G10. But the croc is a great everyday carry knife, and for the price, if you're looking for that style blade, I think it is an awesome option. Another one that I really like a lot, but if I'm only keeping a couple, probably get rid of the nightshade. This one is a 154CM. You got a liner lock, good access to the liner. Vosteed does good at everything they do, I feel like. But liner lock, probably let that go. Let's do one that I think I'm going to end up keeping. It's going to be the Hedgehog. This one is a Blade Runner Outpost exclusive. I have put this in other videos, but since it is Vosteed, I will be keeping this version of the Hedgehog. It is the most premium version that I know of, in M390 and then camo carbon on the scales. It is a really cool exclusive that I really like a lot. I don't carry it very often because I have the standard Hedgehog in S35VN and G10 Damascus, whatever they call that. You got a good choke up, good harpoon sheep's foot blade, very thick blade. Also very tall blade. Doesn't lend itself super well to slicey tasks, but it is a thick knife, and you could definitely beat this knife up a little bit and it would not care. But since I'm keeping the premium, we will let go of the regular version. Another one that I'm gonna have to let go of, the Vosteed Valhund. This knife is around 180. It's an awesome knife, S35VN on titanium, but I have learned that I'm not the biggest fan of titanium as far as my handle choices go. In the winter it gets a little cold, and when I reach in my pocket I don't want to pick up an ice cube. The other thing is, the knife is honestly a little smaller than I kind of thought it was going to be when I got it. I do like the knife, and once again, for like a gentleman carry knife, I think it is awesome, and it has some of the smoothest action from any frame lock I have. But for the purposes of this video, I would let it go, recoup a little bit of my money if I was looking to do that, since it is a more expensive option. And like I said, it's just not something that I find myself carrying too frequently nowadays. Another one we are going to let go of. We're going to go ahead and get it out of the way. We will let go of the raccoon. Not that the raccoon's an awesome knife. I love the raccoon. Some of these other ones are just a little more premium. And this one was a gift. So this is never going to leave my collection, but if I'm looking at it purely from materials, EDC, ease of carrying, use, everything like that, I do think that I could let this go, especially with some of these other options still on the table. But for 70 bucks, it's hard to get better than the Vosteed raccoon, to be honest. Another one we can let go of. We're going to get rid of the other Blade Runner Outpost exclusive that I have out here. This is the RS Mini Chaos in M390. I did do a review on this. It was one of my first videos, so don't judge it too harshly if you go back and watch it. But M390 on the blade, crossbar lock instead of the top liner lock that is on the original RS Chaos. I do believe this was a top liner lock. It would also be one that I keep. Not that I don't like crossbar locks. I just feel like the action on them is not always the best. You don't get that detent. And then if you do whip it hard enough, it will come out on you. But like I said, not that that's going to happen in your pocket. Just the lack of detent makes me not too much, not fall in that line of like I need to have a crossbar lock. Also, Omega springs are not the strongest type of spring. So one thing that they did on this one that I thought was pretty cool is the camo carbon backspacer. That is something I've never seen before on a knife, and something I think knife companies should start to do, is with the extra material when you're cutting out the scales, use it as a backspacer. I'm all for less waste. And this is an awesome knife. I think they're out of stock, but if you find one, it is a very nice knife that people should try. If you're looking for a crossbar lock, that should definitely be in the conversation if you can get a hold of one, since Vosteed has not done a standard production run on that model yet. It is only available with Blade Runner and the people he shared the shipwreck with. Let's see here. We're going to go ahead and keep the Psyop 299. To me, this is just the perfect size knife for most people. There is no hot spots on this knife. EDC, it is a awesome knife to put in your pocket and carry. The one thing I will say that after carrying it quite a bit that I don't necessarily like, but it's not the biggest deal, is that point right here. That can jab into you a little bit, especially when you're in and out of your pocket a lot. It does make kind of a straight edge that your hand does get caught on sometimes, from my experience. But you got S35 yen, aluminum, and then micarta with that wire pocket clip. And then you got the backspacer, top liner lock. It's a hard knife to not love and enjoy. It is definitely one that I carry quite a bit. Next one we will get rid of is going to be the shilling cutter. This one you got a banker lock, front roll, thumb studs, and the back flipper. Standard pocket clip, deep carry but not super deep. Once again, Vosteed just does such a great job with everything they put out. It makes a video like this very hard, but it does take up quite a bit more space in the pocket. So now we've got 2 to keep here. I've got 1 more I have to pick from. Let's do a quick comparison here. We got the Vosteed Martin 330 and we got the Vosteed Porcupine. Both of them are awesome knives. As you can see, they're not too different in size. The Martin is slightly bigger. You got carbon fiber on the scales and then liners right here. On this one, you got liners and then micarta. This one, you got 154 cm. This one, you've got 14C. As far as in the hand, both of them are very comfortable. I will say, in the hand, this one just feels bigger. It's got a good balance. This one also has a, oh shit. This one also has a good balance. It's hard to do from this angle. It is a little bit lower though. But for what it is, $70 versus about $110, I believe, on these, maybe $120, I cannot remember. Blue backspacer. I do think I have to go with the Martin. Instead of the opening hole, I get the thumb studs, which is something I do kind of like, having the thumb studs. I also like a good opening hole, but I've said this in a comparison video that I did with the Porcupine. This opening hole is not my favorite. It's good, but I just feel like it could be better. And there's just a few things that happens far too much with me on this particular knife. But it is an excellent EDC knife. So the 3 that win, the Vosteed Hedgehog in M390 and Camo Carbon. So this is an exclusive, sold out. Because of that, that is going to be our bonus. And to replace it, of course, I'm going to just put in the standard version of the Hedgehog. So you got S35VN, S35VN, and then 154 cm. You got carbon fiber, aluminum, and micarta. And then you have G10 Damascus. So you have a kind of a well-rounded group of knives here. The one similarity that we can take from this is top liner lock, top liner lock, top liner lock. That is probably my favorite method of locking a knife at this point in just standard production runs and not crazy expensive. There's plenty of other locks out there, but for this video, that is what, 14 Vosteeds, and this is what I decided to keep. Let me know down in the comments if you would keep the same Vosteeds or if you would pick something different. Let me know if you've seen some of these exclusive camo carbon models before. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you liked the content enough, give me a subscription and go check some of my other videos where I do similar things, where I take a bundle of knives and decide which ones I would keep and which ones I would let go of if I had to. If you didn't like the content, please downvote it. Please put in the comments why you hated it. And then also subscribe so you can hate watch more of the content. Thank you guys for watching. Most importantly, love yourself. Do something good for somebody today, even if it's just to make yourself feel better. It might also make them feel better. Thank you for watching.